Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily News Protocol of the Daily News Analysis of the Hindi newspaper, contributed by Vishnu IS Academy. Today we are going to see the news articles for the date 21st April 2022. In our yesterday's class, we have seen an MCQ, right? Today let's solve that question. I hope most of you have answered it correct. Let us see the analysis of that question. The question reads as, consider the following statements which are correct regarding the PM Gati Shakti. Okay, the first statement says that PM Gati Shakti scheme collaborates with ISRO. Yes, it is correct. It collaborates with the ISRO's imagery techniques, spatial techniques contributed by the BISAG and the Bhaskaracharya National Institute for Space Applications and Geoinformatics. In that area, it helps the PM Gati Shakti scheme to develop its schemes and all. Okay, the next statement is saying that it is a national master plan for infrastructure development including multi-modal connectivity. Yes, it is also the correct statement. Why? Because the main objective of the PM Gati Shakti is nothing but to develop the multimodal connectivity. And now coming to the third statement, though it is an infrastructure development scheme, it is separated from NIP to develop, implement and achieve its region-centric objectives with a special focus. If we can study it into deeply, it is saying that PM Gati Shakti is separate from the NIP. What is NIP? National Infrastructure Pipeline. Right? So, it is wrong. Why? Because the PM Gati Shakti is already integrated into the NIP objectives. Hence, considering this as wrong, the option is the B. The first and second statements are correct. With this information, let us get into the discussion of today. These are the listed articles to be discussed for today. Okay, our first topic is regarding the AYUSH ministry, and next a study on the IPCC report, and afterwards any space bricks developed with the soil of the Mars, and after that we will see regarding the tilting trains, and under the Prelims Facts of the day we will see the conversing and the civil services day. Moving forward, let us see the first news articles for the day. PM announces visas for AYUSH therapy. Okay, we know that India is very famous for its traditional medicines. Those are under the Unani, Siddha, AYUSH and all. So, considering that we have a separate AYUSH ministry, and also a separate dedicated schemes regarding that. We have the National AYUSH Mission, NAM, that was initiated in the year 2014, and the AYUSH ministry is also initiated in the year 2014. If we can consider the scheme, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. You know the meaning of centrally sponsored, right? Centrally sponsored means nothing but a majority of the fund of that scheme will be provided by the center, and the remaining part will be contributed by the state governments. Okay, so hence the name is centrally sponsored scheme, and also it is developed by the Department of AYUSH under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And the main objective of this is to expand the AYUSH sector all over the India. And also recently it is decided to expand and furthermore implement that scheme till the year 2026. With all these facts in the mind, let us move into the recent news came under this AYUSH therapy. What is AYUSH therapy? AYUSH therapy is nothing but using the natural techniques of all these: Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy. Considering all these natural treatments, we are Indians developed a therapy, a new therapy called AYUSH therapy. So, in recent days, they developed some priority and significance for this AYUSH therapy all over the world. Hence, recently our beloved and respected Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi has announced a special category to provide special visas to those people who wants to come to India and to get that AYUSH therapy to done for them. So that is the news. So to avail them to move to India freely, a special category of visas will be provided from here onwards. So in this scenario, if we can see regarding the Kerala, the traditional medicine is much more higher. The usage of that medicine is much more higher in the state Kerala, and also it contributes very well to its tourism because of those traditional medicine techniques in that state. We know that Kerala is having very much higher biodiversity and plants ecosystems, and very much enriched medicines will be available in that state. So hence it contributes a very much contribution to the tourism. And also if we can see in a recent summit under this concept, there is a global AYUSH investment and innovation summit which was done recently. Under that summit only decisions like this were taken by our Prime Minister. And also if we can see the importance of AYUSH products. What are the AYUSH products? AYUSH products are nothing but those products provided by utilizing those traditional medicine techniques. So to give some authenticity to these products, a mark is being given by the Indian government. That is nothing but called as AYUSH mark. So it will give some authenticity to the quantity of the AYUSH products. And also if we can see the importance of AYUSH sector. Earlier by the year 2014, it used to be, its productivity used to be just $3 billion. But in recent years, it went till the $18 billion. So that much importance and significance has been improved regarding this AYUSH sector all over the world. So hence, the possibilities and the investment and innovation in this sector will give much more contribution to our Indian GDP. Okay. After learning all this, let's move on to the next topic. That is nothing but a recent study conducted by an IT entity, RMSI, has done a study on the IPCC report. Recently, they released an IPCC report under its 6th assessment report. The 3rd working group has released the AR6, the assessment report 6, recently. So hence, on that report, the RMSI, a Noida based IT consulting firm, has studied some points on that. It is saying that the sea waters may inundate the coastal cities of India by the year 2050. It is very warning concern and point, right? So let us move deep into it. It is highlighting 2 points here: the population, the property and the infrastructure. These three, the places of coastal cities of India under these 3 categories will get inundated by the sea waters by the year 2050. If we can see the coastal cities, the Kochi, Thiruvananthapuram, Mumbai, Chennai, Vizag, Mangaluru, like these cities will get inundated. And also the IPCC report, the assessment of IPCC is also saying the same point, that by the year 2050, the sea levels will rise much better. So if we can consider the sea rise levels, in the years from 1874 to 2004, the rise was till 1.75 millimeters. But now if we can consider the rise of that sea levels from the year 1993 to 2007, the rise was increased, almost doubled, from 1.75 mm to 3.3 mm. It is the rise was that much higher. Okay, so that's why there is much more concerns regarding this higher increase of sea levels. And also our Indian coastal cities are at risk because of that inundation concept, because of the rise of the sea levels. So hence we should take some measures to reduce the global warming, to reduce the sea level rise all over the world. Okay, then moving forward, let us see the next news articles. Our recent researchers and scientists has developed some bricks. Those are not normal bricks, but those are framed by the soil of the Mars. Interesting, right? So they have developed some bricks called as the space bricks. Okay, how these space bricks were formed? By using the Martian soil and bacteria and urea. The researchers and scientists have mixed the soil with the bacteria to produce the calcium carbonate over few years. Let us see the composition of that. The scientists have made the slurry of some components initially. That will consist of the marshal soil 1 and the guar gum 2 and a bacterium called the Sporosaccina pasteurii. Okay, it will also be added into that, and the urea, the 4th component, and the nickel chloride. All these 5 components will be combined together and will be formed as a slurry, and it will be poured into some molds and it will be left for few days. Why? Because the bacteria will take some time to produce its products biologically. Okay, so it will work on that urea, accepting these as inputs for its process and mechanism. It will produce finally the crystals of the calcium carbonate. We know that calcium carbonate crystals are very strong enough, right? So hence these calcium carbonate will get combined with the biopolymers produced by the biological mechanisms of those microbes. Combining these two polymers and the calcium carbonate crystals, that structure will become very strong and tighter, so that will resemble like a brick. So that's how the space bricks are formed by the marshal soil will be formed. So the scientists from the ISRO and the IISc, Indian Institute of Science, and the ISRO combinedly has worked on it and successfully produced the space bricks. Earlier also, the same team of these scientists has produced bricks out of the lunar soil. Okay, so we have the space bricks formed by the lunar soil as well as the marshal soil. So now it is promising us to construct some building like structures on the red planet, that is nothing but the Mars. Okay, further researches have to be done on it, but till now we have achieved to form such a strong enough space bricks. Okay, moving forward, let's see the next news article, introducing the tilting trains. Have you experienced any tilting of trains till now? If you have travelled in the trains, we will experience that while travelling in the cars, buses and bikes, right? But we don't have any tilting experience till now in the trains. Maybe because of that I like travelling in trains. Why? Because we don't get nausea while travelling in trains, right? But now the experts are suggesting to introduce the tilting mechanism in the trains, so that to achieve high speed trains. Why? Because if we can consider the Kerala state, it is trying to implement the Silver Line project in the state Kerala. What is the Silver Line project? It is nothing but a semi-high speed rail corridor. Okay, stretches from nearly 532 kilometers, and also it travels with at semi-high speeds. Normal trains will travel nearly to 40 to 60 kilometers, but these Silver Line trains will travel until above the 100 kilometers per hour. Okay, at such a high speed, the trains will need a railway tracks that will be in a very straight line. If there are many more curves and bends in that railway tracks, the speed of the train should be compromised and reduced. But if we can consider the Kerala state, in that Kerala state, we have many terrains and ups and hills and very rich biodiversity and forests and all. So considering the physical geography of the Kerala state, we can't achieve such a straight line for kilometers far. We can't achieve to construct such a straight line railway lines. So considering all these factors, our experts are suggesting to modify the mechanism of the trains instead of achieving to construct straight lines of railway lines. Okay, so considering that, the experts are introducing the suggesting to introduce the tilting trains. It will increase the speed of the train by about 20 to 30%. It will work on the same principle like that of the bike. If a bike is moving into a turn, the tilt will happen, right? So, same phenomena will be applicable here. So, the coach of the train will tilt like this while traveling under any bend of that railway train. Okay, this is some interesting fact to be learned. So, with that mechanisms and techniques implemented into the trains, it will achieve, the Silver Line project of Kerala will achieve to travel that much higher distance within the 4 hours. Earlier, it used to be take 12 hours to travel under the normal trains. Okay, so moving forward, let us see some prelims facts of the day. Let us see some facts regarding the Kunversi. Who is the Kunversi? If you can study the modern history very well, you will very well known about this person, Kunversi. He is nothing but the Zamindar of the Jagdishpur. He belongs to the Uzainia Rajput clan, a Zamindar of Jagdishpur. Okay, initially he was the Talukdar of Jagdishpur in the year 1826. He got that position after the death of his father. And after that, he used to be a Zamindar of Jagdishpur. By the year 1857, seeing the atrocities of Britishers, he also started to participate in the revolt of 1857. So, at the age of 70s, he raised against the British who had deprived him of his states. So, it is his reason. As he owned the Jagdishpur territory, the Britishers had deprived him of his own estate. So, hence, out of the anger of that incident, he wanted to participate in the 1857 revolt. And also, he is an expert of guerrilla warfare. So, using all these techniques, he developed a regime and he led the revolt in the state Bihar. So, using all his techniques, he was successful occupying the Jagdishpur as part of the 1857 revolt. But unfortunately, the mayor of that time, Vincent Iyer, has suppressed him very successfully, and he got success to kill him in the year 1858. So, it is the story all about the Kunversi, to be remembered under the topic modern history. Moving forward, let us see the next prelims facts of the day. Today is April 21st, right? It is celebrated as Civil Services Day. Do you know that? We have Civil Services Day. Why? Because it is a commemoration of the first speech of our first Home Minister, Mr. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. As a first speech of that, he suggested to the probationary administrative service officers, he gave a first speech. So, to commemorate of that day, the day of April 21st is being celebrated as Civil Services Day from that year. In that speech, he also suggested that the entire civil servants of India are considered as steel frame of India. Right? You may get questions, who gave the statement steel frame of India? That is nothing but first Home Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And hence, the day celebrates the contributions of all the civil servants all over these years will be celebrated at the Civil Services Day. Okay, moving forward, let us see the question of the day. Learning all these topics, let us see some question. It is regarding the tilting of trains. I will leave you this question to you to answer. Try to answer this question and comment your answer in the comment section below. We will learn the answer of this question in the tomorrow session. Let us meet in the another interesting session with another interesting topics in the tomorrow session. Okay, thank you.